Hey there! Welcome back to our Biblical Stories series. Today we're exploring 3 amazing accounts of faith, courage, and loyalty. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and check out our previous episodes where we've covered other fascinating biblical accounts. Let's dive in. Judges 4, 1, 24, 5, 1, 31. After Joshua died at the age of 110, the people of Israel turned away from Jehovah and began worshipping the Canaanites' idols. As a consequence, Jehovah allowed the Canaanite king Jabin to oppress his people. But when the Israelites cried out for help, Jehovah raised up a new leader, Barak. The prophetess Deborah summoned Barak with a divine message. Gather 10,000 men at the Kishon stream. There you will defeat Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army. Barak agreed on one condition: I will go only if you come with me. Deborah consented, but prophesied that the glory of victory would belong to a woman. On Mount Tabor, while Sisera's army gathered in the valley below, Deborah gave the signal to attack. Jehovah intervened by causing the Kishon stream to flood, immobilizing the enemy's war chariots. As Sisera fled on foot, he found refuge in Jael's tent. She offered him milk and a blanket, but when he fell asleep, she killed him by driving a tent peg through his head. When Barak arrived searching for Sisera, Jael showed him his defeated enemy. Deborah and Barak sang praises to Jehovah for the victory, and Israel enjoyed 40 years of peace. The women proclaiming the good news are a large army. Psalm 68:11. Ruth and Naomi, a bond of love and loyalty. Book of Ruth 1:4. During a famine in Israel, Naomi moved to Moab with her husband and 2 sons. After her husband's death, her sons married 2 Moabite women, Ruth and Orpah. Tragically, the sons also died. When the famine ended, Naomi decided to return home. On the road, she insisted that her daughters-in-law return to their families. Orpah eventually agreed, but Ruth spoke unforgettable words. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. In Bethlehem, Ruth began gleaning in the field of Boaz, a descendant of Rahab. Impressed by her loyalty to Naomi and her diligence, Boaz instructed his workers to deliberately leave grain for her. Following the law of the levirate marriage, Boaz married Ruth, and from their union came Obed, future grandfather of King David. There is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. Proverbs 18:24. Gideon, the victory of faith. Judges 6:7. When Israel turned away from Jehovah again, the Midianites oppressed the people for 7 years. The Israelites were forced to hide in caves until they begged Jehovah for help. An angel appeared to Gideon, calling him to be a mighty warrior. To confirm his calling, Gideon asked for 2 signs. First, that a wool fleece would be wet with dew while the ground remained dry, then the opposite. Jehovah granted both requests. With an army reduced from 32,000 to just 300 men, chosen for their vigilance in drinking water, Gideon faced 135,000 Midianites. Armed only with horns, jars, and torches, his men created such confusion that the enemies destroyed themselves. So that the power beyond what is normal may be God's, and not from us. 2 Corinthians 4:7. Wow! These powerful stories show how Jehovah supports his faithful ones, from brave leaders like Deborah to loyal Ruth and humble Gideon. If you enjoyed today's accounts, hit subscribe and the notification bell to catch next week's exciting episode about Bible stories. 1 Samuel 1, 20, 2:18, 21. In ancient Israel lived a man named Elkanah with his 2 wives, Hannah and Peninnah. Though Elkanah loved Hannah dearly, she carried a heavy burden. She had no children, while Peninnah had many. Peninnah would often mock Hannah, making her grief even deeper. During their yearly visit to worship at the tabernacle in Shiloh, Hannah's sorrow overwhelmed her. Despite Elkanah's loving words, "Don't cry, Hannah, you have me, I love you," she sought solace in prayer. With tears streaming down her face, she made a heartfelt promise to Jehovah. If blessed with a son, she would dedicate him to God's service. High priest Eli, mistaking her intense prayer for drunkenness, soon realized his error and blessed her. Within a year, Hannah's prayer was answered with a son she named Samuel. True to her word, once Samuel was weaned, she brought him to serve at the tabernacle. Each year, she would visit him with a new sleeveless coat. Jehovah blessed Hannah's faithfulness with 3 more sons and 2 daughters. Lesson: keep on asking, and it will be given you. Keep on seeking, and you will find. Matthew 7:7. These powerful stories demonstrate how Jehovah supports his faithful servants, from courageous leaders like Deborah and loyal Ruth, to humble Gideon and Hannah's patient persistence in prayer. If you were inspired by these accounts, subscribe now and ring the notification bell so you don't miss next week's exciting episode featuring more fascinating Bible stories. See you next time as we explore more amazing accounts from God's Word.